Oh!
I'm not going to cut that out this time.
What?
Welcome back onto the platform. It's the show where we do stories with no thought whatsoever, and sometimes Kevin is a seal. My name's Ryan.
Oh! Sorry. My name's Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm feeling well. I'm feeling fine. I'm doing my time here in prison.
How's life in the behind bars? In the big house.
I'm rattling my cup.
Bones?
I'm pleading for my mercy.
What are you in for?
Second-degree murder.
Ooh, who'd you kill?
I killed rock and roll.
Oh, so that was you, huh?
Yeah, I killed rock and roll.
Hey, you better come out swinging tomorrow morning. I loved rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna kick your ass. It's me, your cellmate from across the hall. I'm in for car theft. I don't know if they get that specific in court. Trumped up charges. You're telling me, man, but I love rock and roll.
Yeah. Well, I hate to say it, but I killed rock and roll. I also killed my wife.
Oh. Which one are you in, or which one are you in for?
Mostly the wife.
Okay.
Oh, it's not okay, especially when your wife was annoying you.
I see why you killed rock and roll.
And you just wanted to play the fucking video games that you used to play when you were single.
That's why you killed your wife?
And somehow a gun shows up in your hand and you don't question it. You just take it.
Christ. Okay, I'm not. I've changed my mind about jumping you tomorrow morning.
What?
You're a psychopath.
I'm not a psychopath.
You
I
are.
just love rock and roll because I killed rock and roll. Like my wife. I love my wife, but I killed my wife. Isn't that funny how that is? Diddly diddly doo.
Where'd that guitar come
I
from?
made it out of my hair.
We should get started. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Yeah,
that's the end of the episode. But if you like this silly little show that we do, you can always send in a suggestion to inspire an episode. We'll use your suggestion as the basis for a story. You can send that suggestion to. You can do it.
The platform.pod.show@gmail.com.
Hey, there is no the at the beginning.
What?
But you got so close. It's just platform.pod.show.
You can send it to the platform.pod.show@gmail.com.
No the. There's no the. You can also message us on social media or just like text us personally if you know us and you love us, or even if you hate us, text us and we'll put you in the show. So that would be fun. I'm going to get this.
Send me pictures of your dog.
Interesting. I'm going to get a suggestion, and the suggestion for today, what in the world?
What?
This is a phrase.
Yeah.
The suggestion is a phrase. Like
Always good when it's a phrase.
Short sentence, and it says, greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Well,
bit of a hot take there.
Well, okay, no. I know what they're referencing.
What are they referencing?
They're referencing a movie, like, I don't know what it's called, but it has a character named Gordon Gekko in it. And he's like a stockbroker. And his famous line is, greed is good. He's not like a good guy.
No, I didn't assume so.
Don't know why they added that, for lack of a better word, is good.
Well, that's our prompt now.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Yeah, and we better get the for lack of a better word in there.
Well,
that's integral.
Hey?
That's integral. That's what we get for doing this to ourselves. Okay. Well, shall we...
People, you gotta send in something. And by people, I mean the one person I know who listens to this show. You gotta send me something.
Who is it?
Oh, it's Brianna.
Hi, Brianna. Send us something.
You might have to bleep that.
Why?
Just in case.
Why? I'm not doxing them.
Well, I guess so. Well, you're gonna have to bleep this.
Kevin, I can't put that in the episode.
I'm trying to get us demonetized.
No, stop.
We should probably get started.
Okay. The title of this episode, for which the prompt is greed, for lack of a better word, is good, is crunching
Lizards.
makes
My
soul.
hard.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, crunching lizards makes my soul
Hard.
hard. Crunching lizards makes my soul hard. And it's about greed
And how good it is.
and how good it is specifically. Or at least that's the outlook of one of the characters within the story, which can in of itself
I think that'll be
convey
the
the
moral.
message that green is bad.
I think that'll be the moral.
That greed is good?
Yeah.
You have a feeling as the guy who makes the morals at the end?
I'm just saying.
You just have an inkling that might be the moral? Okay.
I've only seen the title, but the title's pretty provocative.
Okay, crunching lizards makes my soul hard. Jesus. Here we go.
So, when did this start?
There's a man sitting on an examination table.
When did this phenomena of you feeling like your soul was hard after you crunched a lizard? When did it start?
We're not beating around the bush with the title on this one.
You came into this therapist/surgeon's office in order to get yourself examined, and I do the full examination. Some people do the half examination. I do the full examination. I examine not only your body and your under parts and your over parts, but I also do your soul and your mind and your loins. I examine them all.
And I want to thank you for that.
Okay.
We see the face of the man sitting on the table. He's in that like hospital gown where his butt's out. And we see some details about this man. He's wearing a gold watch.
One mole on his ass.
There's one mole on his ass, and he's slightly older. He looks to be like maybe in his late 50s.
Although he has gray hair on his head, he has brown hair on his ass.
Yes, he's wearing very thick glasses, like those 90s glasses with like the two bridges in between them.
The veins on his ass are extremely prominent.
Yes, as are the veins on his temples, and he's balding on top.
But not on the lower.
No, he's an abnormally hairy ass, you might say, and he's sitting on the table there, and he's sort of staring off into the distance, and he says,
While he stares, the tramp stamp of the eyeball that he got when he was a younger man stares directly at the wall.
yeah, and he says, I want to thank you for that, Doctor. It's an inexplicable feeling that I have. It all started last Tuesday. I was walking to work. I can't work at Wall Street. We can't keep doing this.
Well, then don't work at Wall Street.
I work... It was more to myself. I work at BMO.
The computer company.
What?
Oh, I was thinking of BMI. Sorry.
No.
BMO. That's the Bank of Montreal.
Isn't BMI body mass index?
No, BMI is also... IBM. That's what I was thinking about.
Sorry, you were probably thinking of TMI.
Yeah, that was a little...
The computer company.
NSFW.
You were probably thinking of IMDb,
Yeah.
the computer company. So he works at BMO. He says, I work at BMO,
The Bank of Montreal.
the Bank of Montreal, Canadian content. And I was walking to work on Monday morning last week.
Okay.
I walk to work every morning, and it was a beautiful sunny day. It's June, after all.
Okay.
And as we know, in June, all manner of creatures come out of the woodwork to make themselves known to people like me. I was walking along, briefcase in hand, my brow already beginning to sweat.
What do you do at the Bank of Montreal, Lenny?
I'm glad you asked, Dr. Richardson. I'm BMO's most trusted financial advisor, And the reason I'm BMO's most trusted financial advisor is not because I do well by the customer. It's because I do right by the bank.
Okay.
I advise people to make investments within the company that are not necessarily in their own best interest, but it has made me a lot of money.
I see.
We're getting the themes and the title right out of the gate in this one.
Let's try to stay focused, Lenny.
Okay, sorry. It's just that ever since this phenomena occurred, I've been finding it hard to stay focused. You see, I was walking along
Okay.
a sunny summer's morning in June, 8:30 a.m., and suddenly I heard a skittering, a scuttling in front of me. I looked down. Who was that in front of me but a gecko?
Okay.
The gecko looked up at me. Have you ever looked into the eyes of a wild animal, Dr. Richardson?
I mean, I've got a dog. That's...
What do you see when you look in his eyes?
My dog has no eyes.
I'm sorry.
Please continue.
Okay. Well, anyway, I looked into the eyes of this lizard, and I thought I saw recognition. I thought I saw hope. I thought I saw all kinds of intrinsic human qualities, and you know what it did to me, Dr. Richardson? It disturbed me. It disturbed me so that I stepped out. I reached out the bottom of my unfeeling heel, and I stepped on the lizard like it was a bug. And I heard its frail form crunch beneath my foot.
And how did that make you feel?
Well, nothing seemed to change at first. I continued walking along, feeling rather satisfied with myself. And then, throughout my day, I started to notice every part of me was rigid. And I do mean every part, Dr. Richardson.
Was this a fear response, or...?
No, quite the opposite.
I see. So, you were excited.
It was pure excitement.
Aroused, even?
No, not arousal. Simply excitement of a different kind, of a primordial kind.
Okay.
I imagine this is how the cavemen of ancient times would feel when they slew a mammoth.
Well, it was a gecko, so maybe
Yes.
let's
My arms, I could barely bend them. They were so rigid. My torso, I could hardly sit in my chair. I could barely bend at my hips and knees. I had to stand in the corner of my office and shout advice to my clients across the room.
That must have been a very difficult day.
It was difficult because my lungs were also rigid. When I said everything, I meant everything, doctor. My eyes, my skin.
Your penis?
That too. Hard as a rock. And people noticed. People noticed. How could they not?
Yeah.
Because I was standing, facing the wall. I couldn't sit behind my desk, you see. It was a nightmare. But it was also invigorating.
Okay. So...
That's why my legs are sticking straight out in front of me now.
And I can see your member through your...
through this
coat.
paper-thin gown that the hospital gave me, yes.
Okay. Well...
It's like my very soul itself has become rigid ever since I stepped on that measly gecko, doctor.
Let's go a little bit before this.
Okay.
Sir? Are you alright?
The mucus within me is also rigidified.
Yes. Let's go a little bit before this.
Okay.
Let's talk about your childhood.
I don't see what that has to do with anything, but I'll play ball.
I mean, I'm the professional.
You are the psychiatrist, surgeon,
If,
philanthropist, therapist.
I'm not a philanthropist.
Oh, sorry. You're not a what?
I'm not a philanthropist. You're paying for this. But let's start with your early childhood. What's the first formative memory you have, Lenny?
My first formative memory. We don't flash back or anything. The camera just kind of slowly zooms in on Lenny's sort of sun-spotted face.
A little bit of music?
A little bit of music might start his wrinkles. I'm gonna put in music. What's the vibe of this music, may I ask?
It's like a violin,
But what's the vibe?
like a violin kind of.
But like, is it happy or sad?
That's kind of sad, I think.
Okay, sad.
Well, it's sort of like, bittersweet.
Nostalgic, even.
It's nostalgic,
Right.
But we'll see what Lenny says, and we'll let the audience interpret what kind of music it is.
Gotcha, I see. And the lines on his face, oh my fucking god. The lines on his face are made more apparent by a shift in lighting, and he seems to be very old suddenly, and he says, my first formative memory. I was sitting in my yard as a child, looking out at the trees in the backyard and thinking about how long they had been there. Thinking about how long my life had been up to that point and how it was merely a speck, a blip in the existence of the tree before me. And I felt scared and I felt alone. And I felt afraid, Doctor.
Why were you afraid, Lenny?
I was afraid of time itself. I knew, I had a thought to myself that one day I would think back on that very moment when I was an old man. And I could do nothing but lament and remember. And now here I am. I was right. I was living my life in preparation for this moment, and now here I am, an old man.
So, from very early in your life, you've had thoughts about death?
Very much so. I've been fascinated with it. My own death, the death of others, the death of life itself, the death of the universe. In heat, as they say.
And this fixation on death, do you think it has anything to do with your current erect form?
Well, if I were to try and conflate the two...
Let's not, but just, have you ever been this hard before?
Oh no, not nearly. Never once.
I see.
I went through my life pallid and soft.
Most people do.
Yes. Never once was I hard.
Never once?
No.
Not even when life demanded that you get hard?
Nope.
You've never been erect,
Nope.
rigid,
Nope. My muscles.
like a rock.
Nope. My muscles, my skin has never tightened in response to fear, anxiety, stress, exertion.
And yet you're fascinated by death.
I am. And it is in this confrontation with
You okay, Lenny?
the mucus. It is in with this confrontation with death, the closest I've ever come. No relative of mine has ever died.
Okay. That's a bit odd.
Our family leads a long lineage. But this brush with death, this encounter with this unassuming gecko is the closest I've ever come face to face with watching death in real time. And it is then that I became turgid.
I have a question.
Yes.
See, sometimes when we're in our day-to-day lives, we confuse emotions. We think that we are anxious, but we're actually hungry. We think
As he's talking, the camera sort of pans from Lenny to Dr. Richardson, and it sort of does a similar sort of zoom in on his face. Not in a way that conveys nostalgia or anything, but just in a way that conveys importance.
Can you give me some little music, Ryan?
Yeah, I can in post. I'm not going to sing anything because then when I'm singing in the episode and the music is playing in post, it sounds like shit.
I don't think that's true.
Oh, you're right. What would I know?
So the doctor says, sometimes we believe ourselves to be content when really we're bored, or we think that we have anger when in fact we're afraid. I wonder if this sudden stoning of your body, this sudden
Calcifying you.
This sudden hardness, I wonder if it's brought on not by what I initially thought, which is to say excitement or arousal, but something else. What if you are, for the first time in your life, experiencing fear? a fear response. Your adrenaline is pumping so much into your bones, into your muscles, that you've tightened up completely in a sort of unnatural flight, fright, or freeze response, and you're frozen in place because you see killing that gecko. It made you understand that life ends. And this thought has paralyzed you.
Lenny looks at the doctor for a moment, and then he stands up from the table and sort of hobbles away into the corner of the room, and he says, "That couldn't possibly be it. That's not it, doctor.
Lenny,
I'm not afraid."
your shoulders are getting tenser.
"I'm not afraid," he says. "I'm not afraid."
Lenny,
You think I'm afraid?
we hear... Lenny, was that your penis against the wall?
No. He turns around. There's a small dent in the drywall. At about waist height. Don't look at that. You know what I do for a living, Doctor? Dr. Richardson?
Lenny, I can see your butt
I destroy
cheeks.
people's lives.
I can see your butt cheeks tightening.
He sort of curses to himself under his breath, and he says, I am the most valued broker in all of BMO. I take people's money, their hard-earned money, and I make it my own. I make it that of the company. You think I would be afraid of a little thing like a gecko? I'm telling you, it's not fear. It's joy, it's excitement, it's rigor. I have seen people's lives crumble before my very eyes, and I've smiled, and I've winked, and I've waved.
Fine, Lenny.
Sent them on their way.
Richardson stands up. Then turn around to face me and tell me to my face that you are excited and you're not afraid of dying.
Lenny's hands are trembling.
But then they stop.
They're just sort of vibrating.
Turn around then, Lenny, and walk straight toward me.
Lenny turns around. He's facing the floor. He's looking at the floor. He sort of does like that rigid, like, back and forth walk where he's not bending his knees.
Halfway towards the back and forth walk, he loses his footing.
Oh, shit.
And he falls to his side.
Ooh.
He doesn't roll over on one side, though. Like a tripod, he is kept aloft.
Yeah, by the kickstand that is his penis.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
His face directly forward. He addresses the doctor.
You don't know anything.
Well, you seem to be pretty low right now.
Shut up.
Lenny.
You shut up. I'm paying you, aren't I? I'm telling you I'm excited. Now give me some pills. Make
Lenny.
it go away.
I can't treat you for overexcitement because you're not excited.
Make it go away, doctor.
You're afraid, Lenny.
Make it stop. I want
As he attempts to warble out his last few words, the tightness reaches his throat.
I'm not afraid.
His mouth.
Please, do something. I'll pay you. I have all the money in the world. I'll pay your pill. I'll pay you anything. Just give me some pills. Give me some. It's reached his lips now. It's reached his teeth. Give me some.
The doctor leans down and looks at Lenny and he says, removing his glasses, "There's nothing that can be done now, Lenny." And he blinks. Reptilian eyes.
A single tear rolls down Lenny's cheek. He says, "The gecko."
Not the gecko, Lenny. Puts his hand over Lenny's eyes.
Darkness.
Yay!
Wow.
What the fuck?
What the hell? Hey, that was good, though.
That's pretty good.
I enjoyed it.
And you were worried about the title.
I was. But turns out this is a lesson for us. When you have a title and a prompt, if you just bang them out from the word go, then they influence the rest of the story.
I don't agree with that.
No?
I think we need to leave it until after the end.
and then say, "Oh shit." And hang on. Well, maybe if we backwards logic this, we can find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what was the question of the day? What was the moral of that?
I think greed, I guess there's really no other way to put this, is good. I think that
For lack of a better
word is good.
Yeah. You know what? I was lukewarm, but I agree.
I mean, just look what happened to Lenny.
He died doing what he loved.
Gaining money and taking it from people.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you learned a lot from today.
Yeah.
That's our goal with this show, is that everybody
a lot of education.
Education comes away feeling a little bit smarter, a little bit more informed. If you enjoyed the episode,
Sorry about that.
what was that?
It went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And before it went down the wrong pipe, I spat it all out.
Thank you for doing that and for not coughing it all over the microphone and me.
Yeah, I felt I was going to do that. And
Good.
then I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that.
Well, what it looked like to me was we were wrapping up the episode. You stopped for a moment, and then you slowly and methodically turned and just spat out your mouthful of hot chocolate into your mug.
I mean, that is literally what I did.
It's true, but it's good to know what was cooking under the surface. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed the episode, you can leave us a review. You can recommend us to a friend. You can send us a suggestion at
Please.
platform.pod.show@gmail.com.
We do this for you, the people.
We do this for you, the people, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Hey, listen.
Yeah?
Stay safe.
Yeah.
Stay lovely.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time.
See you next time, everybody. Half-baked, sort of small joke. Kind of joke. Little joke at the end. As a button.
Brian, are you okay?